Listen closely, because what we're about to uncover today is perhaps the most universally accepted yet fundamentally flawed system in all of modern society. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're setting the stage for a high-stakes investigation into the very mechanics of time and money. Look, we all grow up hearing the exact same advice, right? Go to school, get a good degree, land a secure, well-paying job. We're told over and over that this is the definitive path to financial freedom. But when you start to actually look at the underlying mechanics, the hard data of how wealth is truly generated, a very different, almost hidden reality starts to emerge. We're going to examine the architecture of a system that most of us are operating inside of every single day without even realizing its true design.
If you believe a job will make you rich, you've already lost. I really want to speak directly to you right now because this is the hook. This is the absolute core of today's investigation. You see, you haven't lost because you aren't working hard enough. Not at all. You've lost the game because the employment system itself was never actually designed for you to win financially. It was quite literally designed to keep you working. It's a mechanism built for maximum productivity, not for your personal wealth creation. And once you truly understand that vital distinction, well, everything changes.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Part 1. The Grand Illusion. We really need to systematically dismantle the myth that a job provides ultimate financial security. Now, it's a super comforting thought, the idea of that steady paycheck arriving on the exact same day, month after month. But a job offers a baseline of security at a massive hidden cost. While your salary's purchasing power stays stubbornly flat, inflation acts like this invisible fire. It quietly, continuously eats away a huge chunk of your wealth. Think about it. What cost $100 20 years ago might cost $170 today. This means that year after year, even when you get that 3 or 4% salary bump and it feels like this hard-won victory, the math tells a totally different story. You are mathematically losing money. The stark reality here is that you're just surviving better. You're upgrading your lifestyle slightly, sure, but your true long-term wealth, it remains completely flat.
Which brings us to Part 2, Inside the Salary Trap.
So the crucial point is, why is it that so many smart, incredibly hardworking people never manage to break free from this cycle? Honestly, it's not a lack of effort. It's the architecture of the trap itself. The salary trap is, at its core, a cycle of pure dependency. You work your standard 9 to 5. You get paid once a month. You spend most of it just to live. And then you have to wake up and repeat the exact same process the very next month just to stay afloat. It's an equation where your input equals your output, 1-to-1, and it's missing 3 absolutely vital ingredients: no leverage, no scalability, no freedom. And the devastating fact of this trap is incredibly simple. The second you stop working, the income stops entirely. That is not wealth, that is dependency.
Let's just break it down logically for a second. The number 24. There are only 24 hours in a day. That is the fundamental, undeniable constraint of the universe. Even if you are literally the hardest worker on the planet, even if you completely sacrifice your sleep, your weekends, your health, you cannot mathematically multiply your time. You only ever have those 24 hours. Therefore, if your money is directly tied to the hours you put in, your active income will always, permanently, be capped. You hit a ceiling that absolutely no amount of pure human effort can shatter.
So what's the alternative? Let's look at Part 3, how the wealthy operate. Now, what's really interesting to contrast here is how those at the absolute top actually do it, because they clearly aren't bound by that 24-hour rule, right? There's a really sharp divide in human operating systems. On one side, you have the dependency mindset, selling time to seek security. This is where most of the world operates, trading their single most valuable non-renewable resource for a steady check. But on the other side, you have the wealthy mindset, building systems to gain ownership. The wealthiest individuals flat out do not sell their time. Instead, they spend their time upfront building systems, acquiring assets, and creating income streams that just continue to work flawlessly, even when they're sleeping, traveling, or doing absolutely nothing at all. This wealthy mindset is built on 3 foundational pillars. First up, assets over income. They care significantly less about a high monthly salary and far more about acquiring things that produce value totally independently. Second, leverage over effort. Instead of constantly asking how to work harder, they ask how to build smarter. They use technology, code, capital, or media to basically do the work of 100 people all at once. And third, ownership over employment. They understand that true wealth comes from having equity, from owning a piece of the pie, rather than just renting out their skills for a flat hourly fee. They strategically force money to work for them, instead of the other way around. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where that capital and energy goes in the real world, into 4 distinct vehicles: businesses, entities that run, adapt, and scale entirely independently of the founder;
Stocks, owning tiny fractions of other incredibly successful companies. Content, digital assets, like software or media that you build exactly once and then they get consumed millions of times over. And scalable skills, high-level abilities that compound exponentially in value over time. While the vast majority of society is out there grinding, working directly for money, the wealthy are intensely busy building and acquiring these four things, systematically setting up self-sustaining income streams.
Which leads us to the most important part. Part 4, your strategic escape plan. Use your job as a funding tool. It's time to shift from being a passive participant in a system designed for your dependency to becoming the active architect of your own financial freedom. And look, I need to be incredibly clear here. Quitting your job blindly tomorrow morning is a massive mistake. A job provides the immediate, critical cash flow you need just to survive. The trick is to completely reframe how you view it. Your 9-to-5 is no longer your final destination. It is your temporary mechanism. Think of it as your angel investor. You go to work, you collect that reliable security, but you use the excess capital and your remaining free time to start buying and building scalable assets on the side.
Let's see exactly how this builds out into a logical 4-step progression. Step 1. Learn high-income skills. Basically, upgrade your personal software so the little time you do trade becomes exponentially more valuable. Step 2. Create digital assets. Start writing, filming, coding, build things that exist on the internet and can work for you 24/7 without any extra effort on your part. Step 3. Invest consistently. Take the money from your job, your funding tool, and pour it aggressively into businesses and stocks. And finally, Step 4. Shift to passive income. Slowly but surely, the revenue generated from your skills, your assets, and your investments will actually begin to overtake your monthly salary. That right there is the trajectory from active dependency to passive freedom. That is escape velocity.
If there is one absolute, mechanical reality you take away from this entire investigation, let it be this. Relying on a job forever is a trap. In the end, the math is absolute, and it is completely unforgiving. There simply aren't enough hours in the human lifespan to trade your way to true wealth. You do not get rich by working more. You get rich by owning more. Owning systems, owning assets, owning your time.
We've laid out the mechanics for you. We've shown you the hidden architecture of the trap and the precise blueprint for the escape. But the final, critical variable in this equation is entirely up to you. Every time you clock in, every time you spend $1, every single hour of your evening, you are constructing a foundation. So as you clock in tomorrow morning, I just want you to ask yourself, are you building your future or are you just building someone else's?